Your attention is the most valuable thing you own, and right now it's being stolen from you every single minute. A notification here, a passing thought there, a world engineered on purpose to scatter your mind into 1,000 pieces. And the result is a strange kind of exhaustion. You're busy all day, yet you finish with nothing real done, because you were never fully present for any of it. The Stoics never had a smartphone, but they understood the battle for the mind better than anyone. They knew that a scattered mind is a weak mind, and that focus isn't a talent you're born with. It's a discipline you build through daily habits until your attention becomes something almost no one around you possesses. In the next 20 minutes, I'll give you 10 of those habits, drawn from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, that will train your focus like a muscle. Simple, practical, and proven across 2,000 years. By the end, you'll know exactly how to take your attention back. Let's begin. Here's what the Stoics understood that most people never do. Focus is not a mood you wait for. It's a skill you train. We treat attention like the weather, something that just happens to us. Some days we feel focused, some days we don't, and we shrug as if it's out of our hands. The Stoics rejected that completely. They believed the mind, like the body, is shaped by what you repeatedly do with it. Train it toward distraction, and it grows scattered. Train it toward stillness, and it grows sharp. Marcus Aurelius wrote constantly about pulling his wandering mind back to the present task. Seneca warned that a life spread across 100 distractions is a life half-lived. They weren't gifted with focus. They built it deliberately through habits they practiced every day. So here are 10 of those habits. Start with 1 or 2, not all 10. Focus, after all, begins with doing less, which is exactly where we'll start. The first habit decides the shape of your entire day. Before you touch your phone, decide what your day is for. Marcus Aurelius began each morning by preparing his mind, reminding himself who he wanted to be and what the day demanded of him, before the world could pull him in 100 directions. Most people do the opposite. They wake and immediately pour the chaos of the outside world into their minds, messages, news, noise, and then wonder why they feel scattered before they've even begun. When you set a clear intention first thing, you give your mind a direction. Focus is simply attention pointed at one target, and you can't aim at a target you never chose. Spend the first few minutes of your day in silence. Decide the one thing that matters most, then move toward it before anything else gets a vote. Win the morning, and you've already won the battle for your focus. But intention means nothing if you're still trying to control the uncontrollable. The second habit clears the mental clutter that quietly drains your focus. Stop spending attention on things you can't change. Epictetus built his entire philosophy on one division. Some things are within our power, and some are not. Your effort is yours, the outcome is not. Other people's opinions, the past, the economy, the future, none of it is yours to command. And every ounce of attention you pour into those things is attention stolen from the one place it actually counts, the work in front of you. A mind worrying about what it cannot control is a mind that is never fully here. You sit down to focus, but half of you is somewhere else, fighting battles you can't win. When you train yourself to let go of the uncontrollable, you free up an enormous amount of mental energy, and all of it flows back into the present. Ask one question whenever your mind drifts. Is this in my control? If not, release it and return. Which brings us to the habit that fixes the deepest mistake of the distracted mind. The third habit goes against everything the modern world tells you. Stop multitasking. Do one thing completely. Seneca observed that to be everywhere is to be nowhere, that the person scattered across many things masters none of them. We wear multitasking like a badge of honor, juggling 5 tabs and 3 conversations, feeling productive. But the mind doesn't actually do many things at once. It switches, rapidly and clumsily, paying a tax in focus every single time. The result isn't more done, it's more started and less finished. Single tasking is the rarest focus skill left. When you give one task your whole mind, you enter a depth most people never reach, and you do in one focused hour what a distracted person can't do in a day. Choose one task. Close everything else. Stay with it until it's done. It will feel uncomfortable at first because your mind is addicted to switching, which is exactly why the next habit matters. The fourth habit builds the mental toughness that focus actually requires. Train yourself to sit with discomfort on purpose. The Stoics deliberately sought out hardship, the cold, the hunger, the difficult task, not to suffer, but to strengthen the will. Seneca practiced going without comforts so that discomfort would lose its power over him. Because here's the truth about distraction. It's almost always an escape. The moment work gets hard or boring, your mind reaches for relief. The phone, the snack, the easier task. Distraction is just the mind fleeing discomfort. When you train yourself to stay with difficulty, to feel the urge to escape and not obey it, distraction loses its grip. You build the one muscle focus depends on the ability to stay when everything in you wants to leave. Practice it deliberately. Sit with the hard task a little longer than is comfortable. Each time you do, your focus gets stronger. And the next habit removes what's pulling at you in the first place. The fifth habit is the one that creates space for everything else. Cut away what doesn't matter. Marcus Aurelius gave himself a sharp piece of advice to ask of each thing, is this necessary? Because he knew that most of what fills our days is not. We drown in the trivial. Pointless tasks, endless inputs, commitments that serve no real purpose. And every unnecessary thing you allow into your life is one more thing competing for your limited attention. Focus isn't only about concentrating harder, it's about having fewer things to concentrate on. A cluttered life produces a cluttered mind. When you ruthlessly remove the unnecessary, the apps, the obligations, the noise, what remains can finally get the full weight of your attention. Look at your day and ask Marcus's question of everything in it. Is this necessary? Cut what isn't. The fewer things you chase, the sharper you become at the few that matter, and the next habit protects what you've cleared. The sixth habit changes how you value the thing everyone else gives away for free. Treat your attention as your most precious possession. Seneca was fierce about this when it came to time. He said, "We guard our money carefully, but let anyone steal our time. And attention is time lived." Every notification you allow, every interruption you accept, every person who can pull your focus on a whim is someone spending your most limited resource for you. You would never let a stranger empty your bank account, yet you let the whole world empty your attention all day long. The focused person is protective, almost selfish, with their attention. They turn off the alerts, they close the door. They decide what gets access to their mind, and they guard the gate. Start treating interruptions as the theft they are. Your attention is not free for the taking. It's yours and it's running out. The next habit helps you reclaim it when the world overwhelms you. And the seventh habit calms the scattered, anxious mind that can't settle. When you feel overwhelmed, zoom out. Marcus Aurelius practiced what's often called the view from above. Imagining himself rising high above his life, seeing how small his worries looked from a distance, how brief his moment in time really was. He did it to regain perspective, because a mind drowning in small anxieties cannot focus on anything. When everything feels urgent and enormous, your attention shatters into 100 panicked pieces. The view from above shrinks the noise back to its true size. From high enough, the email that felt like a crisis is just an email. The worry that consumed you is one small thing in a vast life. And a calm mind, freed from inflated worries, can finally settle on what actually matters. When you feel scattered, pause and rise above it. See the bigger picture. Then come back down and focus on the one small thing in front of you. The next habit turns each day into training. The eighth habit compounds quietly over time. At the end of each day, examine it. Seneca described going over his entire day every night before sleep, asking what he did well, where he fell short, what he could do better tomorrow. It wasn't punishment, it was training. This nightly review turns ordinary days into deliberate practice, because you can't improve a focus you never examine. Most people repeat the same scattered day forever, never stopping to ask why. When you review your day, you start to see your patterns, the moments you lost focus, the distractions that caught you, the times you slipped. And what you can see, you can change. A few honest minutes each night will sharpen your attention more than any app ever will. Spend them. Ask what pulled you away today and how you'll do better tomorrow. The next habit attacks distraction at its root. The ninth habit is the one your mind will resist the most. Practice being still with nothing to stimulate you. The Stoics valued stillness and solitude, the ability to sit alone with one's own mind, untroubled by the need for constant input. We have lost this almost completely. The instant we feel a flicker of boredom, we reach for stimulation, and in doing so, we've trained our minds to flee from stillness, which is the exact opposite of focus. A mind that can't tolerate boredom, can't tolerate deep work, because deep work often feels like boredom before it becomes brilliance. When you practice stillness on purpose, sitting quietly, doing nothing, letting the urge to reach for your phone rise and pass, you retrain your mind to stay. You rebuild your tolerance for the quiet, undramatic state where real focus actually lives. Start small. A few minutes of stillness a day, no input, no escape. It will feel impossible at first. That difficulty is the sign you need it. And the final habit gives all of this its urgency. The 10th habit puts fire beneath every other one. Remember that your time is running out. The Stoics kept death always in view. Memento mori. Remember that you will die, not to be morbid, but to live with urgency and purpose. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that he could leave life at any moment and let that thought decide what was worth his attention. Because nothing focuses the mind like remembering it has a deadline. When you truly grasp that your days are numbered, the trivial loses its grip, and you stop spending your scarce attention on things that don't matter. The distracted person lives as if time is infinite, so they waste it freely. The focused person knows better. They treat each day as the limited, irreplaceable thing it is, and they refuse to scatter it on the meaningless. Let the shortness of life sharpen you. Ask of your attention what Marcus asked of his. Is this worth the little time I have? Spend it only on what is. 10 habits. 1 goal, to take your attention back. Set your intention each morning. Focus only on what you control. Do one thing at a time. Practice voluntary discomfort. Eliminate the unnecessary. Guard your attention like treasure. Zoom out when you're overwhelmed. Review your day each night. Learn to sit in stillness, and remember that your time is running out. Notice that not one of these requires a new app or a productivity hack. They're not tricks. They're disciplines, the same ones the Stoics used to build minds that could stay calm and clear while empires burned around them. Focus, to them, wasn't about doing more. It was about being fully present for what they chose to do. You don't need all 10 today. Pick one, practice it until it's part of you, then add another. That's how focus is built. Not in a burst of motivation, but one deliberate habit at a time. Your attention is the most valuable thing you own. Start guarding it like it. If this was useful, subscribe, and come back next time when we look at the Stoic habits that build unshakable discipline. Until then, protect your focus and protect your mind.